if I traded it all, if I gave
Welcome back, everyone. And we are live on Facebook. So hi, everybody. Please follow us, like us, tell people about it. I've been doing this show for a long time for everybody, and we're networking here with you guys out there. My next guest has been on my show once before. I have with me Ian Hasegawa. And did I say it right this time?
You said it right this time.
I was real worried. Okay, so welcome back to the show. Your HP Law, which is Hasegawa Probate and Estate Planning, right?
That's it, yep.
And, let's talk a little bit about, you a little bit and, what we're going to talk about today, because you're going to talk about something very important. Listen up, everyone.
Yeah, well, just to introduce myself, I'm a local licensed Arizona attorney. I'm a veterans accredited attorney as well, a member of a national group called Wealth Council, and I have a small estate planning probate firm in the Northwest Valley in the Arrowhead area in Glendale, and I also have my MBA from Thunderbird here locally, and so I really enjoy helping families and individuals and small businesses with their estate planning, with their business planning. So that's what I do.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, you said that your your saying is leave a legacy, not a burden.
That's absolutely true. A little bit of planning now before there's a crisis in your life, things like catastrophic illness, disabilities, or certainly a death in the family, is going to save you and your loved ones an enormous amount of not just money, but you're going to also lower the emotional cost to them when these things occur if you have your planning and your paperwork in order. Things like avoiding probate, avoiding the intrusive court system that will step in and try to appoint, let's say, a guardian or a conservator over someone who's become incapacitated, or when somebody passes away and they haven't planned properly, their estate is stuck in probate court for 6 to 12 months.
I'll tell you now, it's going to stop the fighting, because that's something that happens all the time once you pass. I mean, you don't think about it, you don't all know they get along real well. Wait to see what happens. Yeah. Okay, but one of the things that you're going to be doing today, and I want to talk about that real quickly too, is that you're going to do something special, and this is really neat, so listen up. You're going to be giving away one free last will and testament for people who have been vets, or someone who has a family that is that what you're doing? How are you doing that?
Yeah, exactly. I want to give away a free last will and testament to either a veteran or someone who's in the family of a veteran. And even if that doesn't apply to you, if you call in and we draw your name, then you can give it to somebody who is either a veteran or a family member of a veteran. I am a VA accredited attorney, and I do volunteering for a lot of veterans causes, and so I think with Veterans Day coming up, I'm happy to give that.
So we're going to open up the lines to the audience right now for everybody to be able to call in, and I let everyone call throughout the rest of our show for all of these things. This is a free last will and testament. Let me tell you, wow, isn't that nice? It's a $450 value, free to you or anyone that you know. Again, if you are a vet or if you live with one or in a family that has one, okay, that he wants to help out. So that's a $450 value, free to you. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You could check him out. His website is hplawaz.com. Do you do free consultations with people?
Yes, I do free consultations.
Yeah, you got to, because people have to talk and find out what's going on. So the number to call is 623-299 2722. Call there, and you can either call and get that, or call in here, and I'm going to get you connected, because also he's going to give away, everyone's getting entered to win a last will and testament. You got to be a vet, or at least have a family member somewhere in there that is a vet. He wants to do that for everybody for Veterans Day that's coming up. Again, our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Now today you have brought up something that's very interesting to me, which is how retirement assets kind of go along with estate planning and how they could be hurt by them. Go ahead.
Right, absolutely. And quick shout out to Ted Watkins, who we just heard from, and Tom Jenkins, who we will hear from, both veterans. Thank you for your service, gentlemen. We appreciate you. But retirement assets, it's about $26.6 trillion in the United States right now. It's about 2/3 of all of the middle class wealth in America, outside, like tangible things like homes and cars. And there's going to be a $30 trillion wealth transfer in the next 30 years from primarily the boomers down to the next generations. And so retirement assets represent a majority of this financial legacy that's going to be left to the next generation. Retirement assets, however, are different, and so you need to be aware of why they're different, how they're different, and plan for that, because it can affect your loved ones that receive them.
So if I'm getting you right, okay, let's say somebody has different plans that they're involved with within their retirement. They
Right.
already have that if they don't take care of their will correctly or their last will and testament correctly, where does that money end up?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the main difference about retirement assets is that the government has allowed it to grow tax-free up until the time we retire, essentially, except for something called the Roth. Retirement assets have that great benefit. So we can contribute to a retirement account. It can grow tax-free until we need to take it out at basically 59 and a half or older. Here's an example. If you put $11,000 into Amazon stock in 1997, it would be worth a little over $2.5 million right now. Be a nice investment. Now, if that was not in a retirement account and you want to sell that stock and take that $2.5 million and go on a cruise, then you got to pay about $375,000 in capital gains taxes. If you bought that Amazon stock in your retirement account and then sold it in your retirement account, your capital gains taxes are zero. So that's the great benefit of these retirement accounts. The government has delayed taking taxes from you because they want people to save for retirement. But we know the government, they're going to get their pound of flesh eventually. So when we start taking it out, when we're older, we have to pay income taxes on all of that money. If we leave those retirement assets to our loved ones, to our beneficiaries, then a similar thing happens. As soon as they take that money out, they got to pay income tax on it.
So that's like that, what they call that distribution?
Right. If you take a distribution, you got to pay income tax on it at that
Right.
time. Right. There's another great feature of retirement accounts, and this goes for, at least here in Arizona, whether it's 401k, pension, IRA, that is, your creditors cannot get at that money. They just can't touch it. It's protected by the law. So bankruptcy, lawsuit, any other bill collector coming after you, the one thing they cannot touch is your assets in your IRA, your 401k, your pension. That's a great thing. O.J. Simpson has a $4 or $5 million NFL pension. He's also got lawsuits against him in the $30+ million. Those lawsuits cannot touch that NFL pension, believe it or not, even, given the gravity of the things that he was sued for. So that shows you the strength of those laws that protect our retirement assets. The tax-free growth and that protection from creditors, those are the two things that I think are the best features about these retirement accounts we can all contribute to.
Now, we've got our lines open here. He does free consultations with everyone. Our lines are open because he's entering everyone in to win a free last will and testament. Let me tell you how important it is. I mean, even though mine is like tinily done, at least something is done, just in case, right?
Right.
So, I mean, this is awesome. And now, again, he is offering it to someone who's a vet, or if you live within a family who has a vet, because he wants to, he's just doing something special for Veterans Day that's coming up. So this is a $450 value, free to you guys out there. This is invaluable. Come on, guys. Everybody, that this is so important to have. and sometimes people just put their head in their sand with it, and hey, this is awesome. This is for free out there. So 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Before we go to a break, why don't you tell them a little bit about what we're going to talk about, and then we'll go to a break and come back. Go ahead.
Right. We're going to talk about what happens if you pass away and you want to leave these retirement assets to your loved ones. If you're married, it goes to your spouse first, but if it doesn't go to your spouse, it goes to your kids or other loved ones' beneficiaries. And we're going to talk about what happens when you leave that IRA to them. It's important that we understand that because you have to plan for it. It has major impacts on their lives.
Right. And, there's a lot of people that have done these things, and it was done a long time ago, right? And they don't even think, oh, that's done. Should they have a second opinion and a second look at things like this?
Absolutely. That's another reason to come in for the free consultation. I will review your estate planning documents and give you my legal opinion on whether you need to update anything.
Well, we have our lines open here, and everyone's getting in to win a free one. The number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100.
For trading it all.
Welcome back, everyone. Now, we are talking with Ian Hasegawa, and he is the owner of HP Law. We've been talking a little bit about, estate planning and what you need to do with your retirement assets. Now, we've got our lines open here, and everyone's getting entered in to win a free last will and testament. This is a $450 value free to you or anyone that you know. Invaluable. Everyone should have this. And again, we are making sure that people understand that it's for a vet. He's reaching out to the vets out there, or if you live within a family that has a vet. So it's really almost anyone, because a lot of people do, know.
Right.
So our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. He's in the Arrowhead area in Glendale, but you can help anyone from anywhere. And you want to check him out on the website. It's hplawaz.com. He does free consultations, no obligations. The number is 623-299-2722, or call in here and get entered in to win. 602-277-5369. Okay, what are we going to talk about now?
Well, I wanted to continue on the theme of your retirement assets. When you leave your retirement account, you put your beneficiaries on the account, and when you pass away, it's important to know what happens when it's a non-spouse, especially. So if it's your kids or someone that's not your spouse that receives it, they're going to get a call from your financial institution, and they're going to be given a few choices. One is, do you want the lump sum? They can take the lump sum. Or do you want to take it in a 5-year payout? Or do you want to take it as an inherited IRA? And those choices are typically sort of, the first one is bad, the second one's a little bit better, and the third one's a little bit better still. Lump sum is not good because it's just like you took out a distribution from your IRA. So if you're leaving $100,000 to your child in an IRA and they take lump sum, well, first of all, $100,000 is going to put them into a higher tax bracket, and they're going to get taxed as if they just earned.
They're going to go right through it.
Yeah. So so they're really, they really took home whatever, $70,000 or so. If they take the 5-year payout, same thing. They're going to get a higher income for 5 years and get taxed on that like it was their income, and or the inherited IRA. Sometimes it's known as the stretch IRA, meaning they get to have an inherited IRA that they can stretch the distributions out for the rest of their lives. Essentially, they'll take what's called required minimum distributions based on how old they are, and they can delay taking that money out and just get so much per year for the rest of their life. Now, that's a great thing for one reason. You still enjoy tax-deferred or tax-free growth for all the money that's still in that inherited IRA. So if you only take out $4,000 that year, well, then your income went out $4,000 and you pay a little bit more income tax. But what's left in the inherited IRA can continue to grow as invested by, hopefully a qualified financial advisor. So the third one is the best one. Now, there's another option, which is you can take it in what's called an IRA trust or a retirement trust, sometimes also known as a standalone retirement trust. This is the one that I wanted to highlight because it is by far the best. And why? Because it offers all of the benefits of an inherited IRA. In other words, tax-free growth for the rest of your life. But it also offers something that the inherited IRA does not offer. And that is, do you remember when we talked about your retirement account is safe from creditors, right? Even O.J. Simpson's NFL pension is safe from his creditors. Well, that is not the case with an inherited IRA. So when your children receive that IRA or that inherited IRA, it is exposed to all of their creditors. Divorce, drama, lawsuits, bankruptcy. They can come right after that inheritance money, and it can be taken away by creditors. And we really learned about this just recently in 2014 because of a Supreme Court case where that happened. A woman had $300,000 in her inherited IRA, and she declared bankruptcy, and she thought it was safe because everybody knew at the time that IRA money was safe from creditors, period. Well, the Supreme Court decided differently and said, you know what? An inherited IRA is not really a retirement asset. It's just like a gift you received, and so we're going to let your creditors have it, and so they were able to get at that $300,000.
So people that are listening, let's say a lot of people have that. Is it once you have set it that way within your will and testament, that's how it stays? It cannot be changed ever?
No, not at all. And, you know, your will typically does not control your retirement assets, your 401k IRA. Those get transferred to your loved ones based on the beneficiary designations you've written down on the paper that at the financial institution that holds it. The way you put it into this IRA trust that protects it is you simply create the trust and make the IRA trust the beneficiary of that retirement account. That
So
retirement
a beneficiary IRA?
It's it's just done through a beneficiary designation. So, and that's something that we all need to remember. For all of us that have retirement accounts of whatever size and shape, we must check them periodically and make sure we have a primary beneficiary and a secondary beneficiary listed. In an example of how this IRA trust would help you is if you were married, you would list your spouse as the primary beneficiary of your IRA. But then your secondary beneficiary could be your IRA trust. And what that does is it allows, that trust lists your children as beneficiaries, but instead of your children just receiving a call from the financial institution that says, do you want lump sum? Do you want 5-year payout? Do you want a stretch IRA? And they say, well, I want to take the lump sum because I want to go buy 2 Corvettes. They're going to receive it through the trust. And in that trust, they're going to be able to have tax-free growth for the rest of their lives, essentially. And on top of that, that money will be completely protected from creditors. And that's the one thing the trust can provide that the inherited IRA cannot provide.
So it's interesting. There's so much to know. And now you do free consultations with everyone. His little tagline is "Leave a legacy, not a burden." And you know what? No matter how much you do it, my parents are both gone, and no matter what, there was always something that goes wrong. I mean, it does. And so you want to try. And also, if you already have one done, you might want to look at it. That's very important. You know, you think that it's all done. The laws change. Right. You might have changed something within the family change. There's all sorts of reasons to have that looked at more than one time, you know, from 20 years ago, right?
Exactly. Like, you have kids, right?
Yes, I do.
Right. And let's say you had your retirement account. Let's just say 2 children.
I do.
You have $200,000 in an IRA, and it ended up that you didn't really spend it down, and you left that to your kids as your beneficiaries. Well, you know, if your kids got a call and said, hey, do you want a check for $100,000, or do you want to pay it out over 5 years, or do you want to stretch this out over the rest of your life? What option do you think they might choose?
My kids,
Yeah.
they want that money. They want the money. They're
now.
still, you know, like they're college kids, so they want the money.
And then the year later, they're going to have to call Ted because, like, Ted, how come I have a $30,000 tax bill? Well, you owe income tax on $100,000 that you took as a distribution. Well, if you could give $100,000 to your kids, but let them have it over 20 or 30 years, and let it grow as an investment during that time, and they get to take out a little bit every year, how much do you think you'll give them over 20, 30 years, let's say?
I don't know. What do you mean? Me?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That $100,000 would turn into $200,000 or $300,000
Yeah.
very easily if invested even
Wisely.
conservatively.
Right.
There's compound interest, the growth of the market, tax-free growth. So I mean, would you rather give your kids $70,000 cash now or $300,000 of income over the next 30 years?
Right.
You would probably choose the latter, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what this IRA trust provides, because you can even let your kids know, as we know from trusts, you can rule from the grave. You can say, guess what, kids? You're not going to be able to take out more than the required minimum distribution unless it's for a really good reason. And here's the reasons why I think you should take out more than you should. And you get to decide what those reasons are, Carol, not them.
So that's important. Now, again, you do these free consultations with everyone. He says, leave a legacy, not a burden. And we've got to keep our lines open here for the rest of the show for everyone to get entered in to win a free last will and testament. It's a $450 value, free to you or anyone you know. You got to be a vet or at least live with someone within the family, wherever the family that vet is. He wants to offer that to everyone. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. It's hplawaz.com. What are your final words?
Well, leave a legacy, not a burden. And give us a call. We're here to help.
And you know what else? Make sure you take care of these things. Don't put your head in the sand. And he does these free consultations, and right now he's offering everyone to get entered in to win one. Our number here is 602-277-5369. It's hplawaz.com.